The Roseville City School District would like to welcome you to this video explaining the district assessment, feedback, and grading policies and practices. Over the past 2 years, a committee made up of elementary and middle school teachers, site admin, and district admin have worked together to research, recommend, and help implement and train teachers in best practices when it comes to assessment, feedback, and grading for our middle school students. Our practices are backed by research and match our board policy on student grades. As grading expert Rick Wormelli says, grades should never be about affirmation, validation, compensation. They're communication, that's it. Our goal is to provide students, parents, and staff with honest and clear communication about how a student is doing academically, as well as with their learning behaviors. Our goal is to improve learning for all students. Here's an overview of the RCSD assessment and grading practices. 4 clear learning levels: beginning, approaching, proficient, and mastery. The goal is standard met, proficient, or mastery. NA will be used for not assessed if a teacher has not assessed that standard in the trimester. Formative assignments and assessment are important for practice and feedback. Summative scores are 100% of the student's academic grade. Learning behaviors are separate from academic grades. Students will receive scores in the areas of engagement, utilizes resources and feedback, and work completion. There's no overall subject grade. Grades are on specific standards or criteria. This allows students to focus on strengths and areas of growth. The default calculation is mode, the score a student achieved most consistently. IE will be used for insufficient evidence if a student has not shown evidence of learning. Extracurricular activity participation is based on positive learning behaviors. The 4 learning levels are beginning, approaching, proficient, and mastery. The goal is for all students to reach standard met, either proficient or mastery. Students can then both self-assess and get specific teacher feedback on areas of strength or areas for growth to improve learning. The 4 levels allow teachers to provide clarity about a learning target and the criteria to reach each level. Students are asked to do actions like analyze, develop, create, perform, and those type of actions are much better described through the use of levels instead of points or a percent. In the RCSD system, a student's academic grade reflects how they are doing academically in that subject area. That isn't to say learning behaviors like engagement and work completion aren't important. In fact, it's the exact opposite. It's so important that we specifically call out those behaviors on the report card as their own separate category, because we want students and parents to receive communication and feedback on those areas separately from the student's academic grade. Students are graded on 3 learning behaviors: engagement, utilizes feedback and resources, and work completion. We believe that a student that is showing positive learning behaviors, work completion, utilizes resources and feedback, engaged in class, should be able to participate in extracurricular activities. Please see the handbook page for more information. Think of formative as practice and summative as performance. Formative work is important for students to practice and receive feedback on next steps to improve learning. Summative scores are used to determine whether students have learned what they were expected to learn. Overall grades are great when we want to rank or compare students. However, that is not the point of our academic grades. Students will get communication and feedback on specific standards or criteria. Our goal is to improve learning. We want to give specific feedback. We believe grades should provide clear communication and feedback about student strengths and areas for growth. Therefore, there's no overall subject grade. This will allow students to focus on strengths and areas of improvement. Teachers determine a final grade based on consistency and recency of student evidence. The default calculation in the online gradebook is median, the middlemost number in the set when arranged from least to greatest. The median gets rid of outliers and focuses on the most consistent level of performance over time. Here's an example of a student with 3 summative writing scores. When you arrange the scores from least to greatest, it goes beginning, approaching, proficient, which means the default score would be approaching. We know one of the questions that comes with these changes is, how is RCSD preparing my child for high school, college, and eventually the real world? Our priority is to improve the learning skill and learning will for all students. We have ongoing communication with the Roseville Joint Union High School District leadership team. They have the same priority as us, increasing student skill and will, and appreciate our progressive grading practices. Many colleges use rubrics of 4 levels or have similar grading systems. For example, Yale Law School does not grade using points or percentages for a student's class grade. They use 4 levels. The real world is based on setting goals and improving based on feedback. Evaluations rarely, if ever, rate quality of work or work ethic with points or a percent. If you'd like more information, please feel free to visit the following website. If you have a question specifically how grading works in your child's classroom, please ask your child's teacher. Or if you have questions about these policies and practices, please feel free to reach out to your site's principal. We want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video.